Patterson. I am a PhD candidate in teaching and learning, and I'm also the AERA's Graduate Student Council Chair-elect for this year. So I have a couple of quick pieces of advice for attending the annual meeting. First, I would say limit yourself to about 3, I would say, sessions per day. It can be fatiguing and overwhelming, and you want to give yourself time to actually pay attention, but also to do other things and let your brain have some downtime. I would also suggest talking to people. It's a great networking opportunity, and you'd be amazed how willing some of the people whose work you're reading and who seem like academic celebrities are really willing to chat with you. And lastly, I would say please attend some of the Graduate Student Council sessions. We have a Graduate Student Resource Center that's manned throughout the conference where you can talk to people who can give you advice or help you out. And we also have fireside chats that we organize that are a little bit more geared toward graduate students, and allow you to talk with people in a little more low-key setting. So I would suggest that. I look forward to seeing everyone in Philadelphia. Travel safe, and let's have a great time. Thanks.
I think everyone needs to find their own niche within AERA. The conference is really big, and most people don't attend things across multiple different divisions and special interest groups. So you need to find the groups that are going to be best for you and your interests. If you're not sure which divisions or SIGs are good for you, my suggestion would be that you go to the online program and search the names of scholars whose research you really admire or people you hope to meet, and pay attention to the division or the SIG that's sponsoring the session, and that's probably going to be the best group for you.
So my piece of advice for AERA would be to make sure that you set aside some time to go to the poster sessions for your particular division or SIG. It seems a little bit counterintuitive because, at least when we're thinking about our CV, having a poster is less prestigious than having a paper presentation. But in terms of being an audience member, poster sessions are actually, I find, much more useful and interesting in some ways than the paper sessions. With the paper sessions, you're just in the audience, you don't have an opportunity to interact with the researcher, whereas in the poster sessions, you can walk around, you can stop, you can read the posters, you can ask questions, you can interact with the people presenting their research. And I found poster sessions to be incredibly beneficial for the 3 years that I've gone to AERA. I actually met and interacted with a researcher in a poster session during my first AERA who I've gotten in contact with and met up with again during AERA. So it's a great opportunity for networking, but also I just find that I get more out of it than the paper sessions. So I would really suggest going to find the poster sessions for your area of interest and talking to the folks there.
My recommendation for navigating AERA is to look at your division listing. So if you're in Division D, see what type of sessions are being offered. Also, looking at the SIG listing. So I'm a member of several SIGs, and so typically I look to see what the SIG sessions are, and then I make my selection. And then if I'm not a member of a SIG, I also may decide that there could be some sessions of interest that I will attend as well. And then don't be afraid to ask your advisors or faculty members about the free stuff. So there are receptions that are being offered during AERA. For example, ETS offers a reception every year, and it's free food and drink. So don't be afraid to ask your advisor or faculty member about receptions that could be open to students as well.
Hi, I'm Ann O'Connell, and I wanted to share with you just a couple thoughts on how to navigate AERA, which is likely the largest education research conference in North America. When I first started out as a young assistant professor, I think one of the things that I did that really helped me was that I tried to focus on the special interest groups, the SIGs. They're a little smaller than divisions and much easier to get to know people and to find your way around. over time you get to meet people in those smaller groups. So I think that the SIGs are really a good way to begin to navigate and feel confident about AERA as a larger unit. Division D is also something that I've been pretty active with over the years, and one of the sessions as a graduate student that you might want to focus on is the fireside chats. And other things that might be interesting for you to do is to go to the presidential session, which is huge. There's hundreds of people in a room listening to that talk by the president. This year it's Barbara Schneider, and she's really wonderful, so I think it would be fun to listen to her. And then outside of that, I think just go and have fun. Try to visit as many posters as you can, because you get to interact more closely with the authors. I like the exhibits because I like to spend my spare change on books, so I go to the exhibits and try to meet as many young researchers and other grad students as you can. I wouldn't suggest, I got one more thing, I wouldn't suggest trying to spend your time trying to listen to the most big names in the field, because those venues are usually very crowded, and you often don't get a chance to interact with those folks individually. And you can get just as much insight into how to improve your own research strategies from talking with newer professionals and other grad students as well. So try to make a mixture of both. Don't spend your time chasing all the big names, and have fun.
Hi, my name is Lauren. I'm here to provide a little bit of first-time AERA attendee advice. Number one, limit yourself to maybe one SIG and one division. Those two together will really provide you a lot of material to cover in the time that you're at the conference. Number two, try different formats. I found myself really going to a lot of paper presentations last year, and at the end of the day, it was really difficult to distinguish one from the other. Try the posters, the papers, the roundtables, all the different formats. Number three, get your schedule together on the app beforehand. If you wait to download the app until you get to the conference, there will be difficulties typically in getting it to work and install correctly. So get that together ahead of time. And number four, make sure to make the time to explore the city that you're in for the conference. They're great cities, and if you take some time to explore, you'll have enough time to actually digest and process the information that you're seeing in these presentations in terms of what it means for you, your work, your questions, what you're going to do with it when you go home. So just a couple pieces of advice. Have fun. Hope everyone learns a lot and has a great time, and I'll see you all at AERA.
My advice to people going to AERA is to, particularly if it's your first time there, to really try to get the most out of the conference by doing as many things as you can. And what I mean by that is, the first thing I'd say is go to a lot of sessions, but it's not all about the sessions that you go to. So much of the experience has to do with networking and meeting people, and you have the opportunity to meet so many great people. Don't be shy. Go up and say hello to people. Go up and talk to people. Particularly good way to do this is at receptions and in the exhibit hall. The other thing I always tell people, recommend people to do, is you want to go to the sessions obviously in your area and get to know people doing research in your area, but I think it's good for everybody to pick one session that has nothing to do with your area either, just something that really looks cool and interesting to you, and to go to that as well. And other than that, really enjoy it. It's don't be shy, talk to lots of people, and again, I think the most important thing you can get out of AERA, in addition to learning what people are doing, is networking and getting to know people and making sure people know who you are, getting them to know your name, and getting people to know something about what you do and how your work relates to their work. Good luck and have a great time.
Richard Lomax from Ohio State. I've been going to AERA now since 1978. So I think the key for a first-time graduate student is preparation. The program is overwhelming. There's over 10,000 papers presented. And so if you come to the first day, we know who the first-time students are because they're sitting in the lobby looking through this 500-page program to figure out what sessions to go to. And so the first time it is overwhelming. There are a couple of keys. One is You can search the entire program online. Even if you're in your hotel room, you can go to AERA.net, search the whole program, and put in a division or a SIG or a keyword, and up will pop all the sessions. If all you have is the physical program, at the beginning of the program, before the first session of the first day, there's sort of a list of sessions by SIG and by division that you can look through. But again, the idea is figure out what you're interested in, look at sessions that deal with those, and try to use your time wisely. Don't be sitting in the lobby the whole week looking up the sessions, because that can easily happen. So do your preparations ahead of time, and you know, you're going to find lots of good sessions no matter what you're interested in. AERA has a little bit of everything. So best of luck.
Hi, I'm Brian Wonick. I'm an Associate Dean for Academic Affairs here in the College of Education. I've been to AERA for a number of years, and this year I'm the Program Chair for the Philosophy of Education Special Interest Group, or SIG. I've been on both sides, both as a student going to AERA for my first time, and also now as a professor and as a program chair. So I just have a few very brief comments about AERA and how to get the most out of it. First of all, you might be tempted to go to some of the big prestigious sessions, and you should certainly do that. I've actually found in my experience that some of the best sessions are actually the roundtable sessions, where there's a lot of interaction and you can talk to people in a really intimate, close-up sort of way. So there's lots of engagement and discussion. Some of those are sometimes even more productive than the actual big prestigious sessions. Speaking of sessions, one thing I would say is going to sessions are important, asking questions and hearing the information that's presented, but really academic conferences like AERA are mostly about what happens outside of the sessions, the conversations that you're able to have and the people that you're able to meet. Don't just go back to your hotel room. Meet with people and talk about what you're interested in and find out what they're interested in outside of the formal sessions. Lastly, I would say that relationships are so important everywhere, and especially in academia. So one of the things I always like to do at AERA, such a big impersonal conference, is to use it as a vehicle to show support for my colleagues and friends. So often when I look through the program, I try to find out where my friends are presenting or where my colleagues are presenting. Here at Ohio State, I often try to go down and see where people are presenting from Ohio State, and I try to attend their sessions and show my support and build relationships, because I found in the long run it is about what you know, but it's also about the relationships that you're able to form. So that's my advice about AERA.